Welcome to Friends Church. My name is Vince. Welcome to everybody who's online and hearing me 3 years from now. It's always a bit weird for me. I like to start all my messages with my screw-ups. So today we're going to start it in the same way because I feel like we all kind of screw up, don't we? This week I walked into the house in the condo, opened the door, and my wife is kind of standing there. She gets out of the couch and she comes to greet me. And she's just got this beautiful new tattoo on her arm. And so she has this whole ritual of care that she has to do. She has to put ointment on it. And so I walk in, and I don't know why it is this way, but smells, they're really tricky for me. If there's a certain smell that I don't like, it's like my brain is completely and 100% fixated on that smell. And not only does it not smell bad, the fact that it is currently in my life by my wife is an assault on me as a human being. She's doing this deliberately to mess with me. And there's my wife coming towards me for a greeting, a hug, to get reconnected after a day away. And I'm like, I have to go to the bedroom. And I just storm off into the bedroom, slam the door, lock it. And I sat and watched TV for an hour. Meanwhile, my wife's kind of like, dude, we have a ritual where we greet each other after a day and get reconnected. And I'm literally, I can't keep it together. I can't deal with the smell. I'm done. Hour later, I come out of the bedroom sheepishly like, hey, babe, how was your day? She's looking at me going, what just happened? And the honest answer is, I don't even know what happened. Neuroscience is starting to teach in elementary school kids. They teach this thing called flipping your lid. It's based on this hand model. It says, this is your brainstem and this is your limbic system. Every painful memory you have, every moment where you felt unsafe, every moment where someone felt like they did something to you is all stored in your emotions. But you have a cortex. So it's right here. It covers it, and it can make you go, okay, I'm about to freak out because my wife is putting on smelly stuff, and for some reason that bothers me so much, I can't even keep it together. My brain would go, hey, Vince, take a deep breath. You'll be fine. You won't die. That's when your brain is together. But what happens is your lid gets flipped. And suddenly all your emotions, all those feelings, all of that stuff takes over. It's kind of, we describe it this way. This is adult Vince driving the car of his life. Oh, I shouldn't do that and I should make these decisions. But 4-year-old Vince in the back seat jumps across, grabs the wheel, and drives me off of a cliff. And as I'm flying through the air, I'm thinking to myself, how did I even get here? Flip my lid. Anyone starting to feel like, oh? You would think it would be this way, wouldn't it? It's kind of like, this is the amount of capacity I have to manage my emotions, and as it goes down, I get increasingly less skillful. Let's say it that way. That's not what happens. It's kind of like you go like this, and you get to a certain point, and you drop off a cliff. And then you're yelling, you're screaming, you're storming off, you're locking yourself in the bedroom for an hour because you can't deal. And then you have to figure out, how do I unring that bell? I said this, I did this, I made these choices. Flipping our lids, problematic. Now, why am I talking to you about this today at Friends Church? Well, first, flipping your lid, usually you destroy things. Relationships, connections, even yourself. But Jesus has this line. He says, I'm going to sum up the whole entirety of how I think my tradition is in 2 lines. He says, love God, which is a bit more complex than that word suggests. I'll leave that alone for today. I'll do that another day. And he says, love your neighbor. Love your neighbor. You want to say any more about that, Jesus? What happens when I walk in the door and she's putting smelly stuff on her tattoo and my lid just goes, pow, and I'm like locking myself in the bedroom? Any tips on how to deal with that? No. So today, we're going to start showing you the underpinnings of what it means to love. Because the reality is, you can have all the skills in the world, and we're going to talk about skills for the next 3 weeks. We're going to go deep into you, into the people around you. We're going to do that. But without the capacity to keep yourself regulated, to keep your lid from flipping, the chances of you being skillful in the love of the people around you, almost nothing. This is when your colleague does something for the 13th time, and you're just like, I can't even deal with you anymore. Your brain flips to, black and white thinking. You always do this. You never do this, right? Psychology has a line, they call it the window of tolerance. If your brain stays in the window of tolerance, most often you can be as loving as you are skillful. As soon as you go to that window of tolerance, that 4-year-old takes the wheel of that car of your life and drives it off a cliff, or runs over some people in your life. It does that too. So today, I want to show you how to increase the window of tolerance so you don't flip. Because people, they're like, oh, I can't believe I yelled at my kids, or I can't believe I followed that car screaming at them because they cut me off. I can't believe I did that. I shouldn't have done that. But what you're thinking is, when my lids flipped, I should have had control. But you don't. The problem when I walked in that door was not that moment. My window of tolerance was so itty bitty, a good swift fart would have knocked me over the edge. How do I increase that? How do we increase that? How can we be skillful in all moments when that person does that thing and we're like, oh yeah, you did that thing again. Doesn't freak me out. How do we increase our window of tolerance so that we can actually love? So that we have capacity to do the skillful behaviors we know. One of the things they say about a parent who's flipped their lid can never be a good parent. 100%, this is someone else's research, not mine. The majority of what parents need to do is stay connected, stay in their window of tolerance. Because you tend to be decent parents then, right? You're like, okay, sometimes I said it a little bit wrong. But when you do this, when you flip your lid, all bets are off. I want to be more loving. I want to be able to walk in, see my wife putting smelly cream on her tattoo, and be like, hey, babe, how was your day? Let's hang out for a bit. Instead of locking myself in the bedroom for an hour to get my figured out. And I want that for you guys too. So today, because it's Friend Church, Unique Spiritual Journey, your job is to curate what increases your window of tolerance. I'm going to bring you through a bunch of different exercises. Just see which one makes me feel like, which one doesn't work. Okay. Find the ones that work. Add that into your spiritual practice as a way to love your neighbor. There's a line in this next song. I can't remember how it goes, but it's basically like, sometimes life is hard. I just want to honor that this is not easy work. As they sing, let that sit in your soul. Thank you. Can you feel the difference in yourself right now? We're singing, things were kind of happy. Can you feel even the room is quiet? For generations, our parents have sang to kids to calm us. And part of it's the words. But it also does this. It slows it down. It slows down your breathing. first time I learned that my breath impacted me, I was at a men's retreat. We were sitting for hours at a time, breathing. And I remember at one point, all of a sudden my mind was quiet. My mind is never quiet. My first thought was not I was having a spiritual experience. My first thought is I'm having a stroke and someone needs to call an ambulance. And then I realized, oh, my breath impacts me. Chances are for you too. I recently sat down with somebody. There's a lot going on in their life. Agitated. We were talking through a bunch of different things. And at one point I kind of stopped and said, can we do some breath work together? About a month later, I messaged them and say, hey, how's it going? Can I share this journey with our community? And this is what they wrote. I'm going to read it for you. I used to be very angry, mostly from past traumas and not being able to let go. It made me lose control of my emotions a lot and yell and feel incredibly angry. Flip my lid. Since I've started to self-regulate and breathe, it has helped me become calm and able to think more clearly about how I react or reply to any situation. I don't yell anymore. And I've started to have a deeper sense of peace within my heart, which has helped me start to come out of survivor mode. I've been in survivor mode for 20 years, and I've never been able to stop until now, and self-regulate has helped me to do that. I'm happier and a lot more calm and can regulate my emotions a lot better too. When I feel myself about to flip my lid, I automatically start to calm myself by breathing deep and relaxing for a moment with my eyes closed. And then I can think and reply appropriately to the situation. Incredible. This morning, we have a bunch of moving parts. I needed to create an outline for my message to give to the band and the tech people. It takes a lot of people to run this. My computer wouldn't print. The first 30 seconds, I was okay. Then, folks, I am visualizing throwing my computer out the window, putting my entire body through the drywall. I have lost my mind. I come into the programming meeting where everyone's sitting around. Suddenly, everyone around me starts to make cracking jokes. You can tell they're going, Vince doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel good. So I stopped in the meeting, took a breath, let myself calm. I want to show you guys how breath works. I'm going to invite you to try 2 different ones. See which one, if any, works. I want to encourage you to try it. Normally it's choose your own adventure, and it is. You don't have to do this. But I encourage you to try just to see. The first one's called the physiological sigh, kind of made famous by Andrew Huberman. His lab researches it. What we do, and again, when we look at how breath works, we want to slow our exhale. Our body slows down when we exhale. If you have a really quick exhale, it's going to speed up your energy. If we slow it down, it's going to calm us. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you first, and I'm going to have you do it. You're going to take a full breath in, and then take another breath in that fills it even more full, and then slowly let it out. When I'm really freaked out, I hum when I let my breath out. I know the humming seems to help. So it looks like this. Okay, I just feel really good there. So if you could, try it with me. Deep breath. A little further. Slow exhale. Let all the tension drain out of your body as you exhale. Try it again. Can you feel how quiet it is in the room right now? Anyone willing to put up their hand and say, actually, that felt kind of nice. kind of calm me down a little bit. That is my go-to, folks. So that's physiological sigh. I have one more for you. This one we're calling the pregnant belly sigh. So everyone look at my belly. When you breathe in, if we breathe into our chest, it tells our brain that something bad is happening. We're in danger. So what we want to do is we want to breathe into our belly. So you're going to make it as pregnant as you can, like this. Really deep into your belly. You can even put your hand on your belly, go like this, right below, like as low as you can get it, go like this. Now slow exhale. We're playing with our vagus nerve that basically tells our body, it's okay. There's no tigers around the corner. Take a couple deep breaths as we do the rest of the service. Just keep breathing. Keep your hand there if you want. Breathe into it. Try and push it as deep as you can. Just slowly push it out. What it tells your body is, you're safe. You can relax. Breath has changed my life. If you ever see me before a message, I'm usually sitting someplace breathing. If you sit close to me, you can hear me humming. I'm trying to get my nervous system to calm down so that I don't impact you guys. So as you breathe, I want you to just sit with this next song and let it speak of your experience. As I take a deep breath to calm myself. Have you ever walked into a room and just kind of went like, ooh, this doesn't feel very good? It's like certain people's energies are just, they're agitated. They're freaking out. That was me walking into the program meeting. I'm talking about triple the speed I normally talk. Everyone else is trying to crack jokes because they're like, this doesn't feel good. I don't like this feeling. You see, part of the reason I asked them to do a lullaby at the beginning is because it happened primarily between the parent and the child. Research suggests that we co-regulate. We calm each other down. This isn't a solo sport. This is a team sport. For some of us, co-regulation is everything. The aloneness is activating. It freaks us out. It closes our window of tolerance. And so being around another human, especially another human that's regulated. A parent with a child, there's a new one here today, going, oh yeah, you're freaking out. It's good. I got you. Not, hey, be happy because you're freaking me out and I'm sick of you crying. No, it's coming alongside, seeing someone's emotional state, bringing it in, and then moving to a relaxed place. Co-regulation. Now you can be the co-regulator, or you can be the co-regulated. And so today, we're going to play a little experiment. I'm going to bring a coffee break. Now, normally what I have for you guys is I have, say, all the introverts, stay in your seat, keep your head down, and no one will talk to you. This is my shout out to fellow introverts, like, don't worry, people are scary. You'll learn why we do this soon. Today, I'm asking you for something different. I'm asking to go and grab a coffee, go to the loo, do whatever, walk around, but try and actually smile at another human being. Do your very best. If it's one of these, like, that's okay. You're giving them the gift of regulation. You're giving them something to say, oh, another human being sees me and is regulated, and I can go, so we're going to practice what it means to be co-regulated. So I'm going to have the sound person, Yannick, he's going to turn on some music. We're going to have about a 4-minute coffee break. Go get coffee. If you really can't do it, you can stay in your seat, no big deal. But do your best to see if you can regulate another human being. Okay? Music. There's a reason we use music here. A couple years ago, I had a garage, and I would fix vehicles in my garage. And I remember at one point I was working on an engine, rebuilding a motor, and it's something I know how to do, but for some reason that day, I heard a new kind of angsty 90s alt band, new album that I'd heard. And I thought, oh, I'll just play that album while I'm working. Within a minute and a half, my tool was sticking out of the wall. I threw it across the room, and then I had to go fix the hole I put in the wall, which was super annoying. For some of us, music impacts us. I learned very quickly that when I'm working on motors in the shop, it needs to either be classical or the happiest pop music I can find. No tortured artists, sorry T Swift. I need it to be happy because it impacts my mood. And I have enough anger that there can't even be a whisper of anger in the music. That it just amplifies what I already have. So if music works for you, do you have a playlist? I have a few. One I call mellow. It's just like this. Do you have music that increases that window of tolerance? You can feel it. You listen to a playlist and you're suddenly going, oh yeah, I can take on the world. You listen to another playlist and you're going like, what would happen if you curated a playlist that would increase your window of tolerance? And then before that family gathering that's going to drive you nuts, before that meeting that you know is going to crank you, you sit down for a minute and turn that on and go, the band did a great job of it today, didn't they? There's something about the lullaby. Generations have heard this, and it calms our soul. Think about the music that calms you. So Jesus says, love your neighbor. Simple statement, right? Not so much. There's the skill of loving and there's the capacity of loving. The capacity of loving, we think you need to not have flipped your lid because you're not loving then. So, window of tolerance. We've looked at all the different ways we can increase that. I didn't know if I wanted to talk about this one because right now, culturally, it's a bit tricky. But my coach was like, Vince, you need to talk about this. You see, certain emotions will decrease our window of tolerance. And I don't mean emotions that we like. I mean emotions we don't like. I'm not a big fan of the emotion of helplessness. That emotion is very distasteful to me. To the point where if I'm watching a movie and one of the characters is like wallowing in their helplessness, I sometimes have to turn the movie off because I'm like, I can't deal with this. This is just freaking me out. And I'm starting to like yelling at the TV. Like my brain is already flipped. It's like the person on the TV who recorded this 6 years ago is listening to me yell at them that they don't need to be helpless anymore. They can just do something, right? Right now, our society has tried to honor everything, and that's been great. Honor each person's story. But the reality is if we can't feel certain emotions, difficult emotions, sadness, anger, frustration, hopelessness, it closes our window of tolerance. A couple years ago, we did a series. I can't remember what we called it, but it was basically, I'm going to make you all feel emotions on a Sunday morning so that you learn how to work through them. That's how emotions work. You don't run away from them. They just follow you. And they can run as fast as you can. What you have to do is you have to go through them. I hate that. When I feel sadness coming on, I'm just like, whoa, back off. When the reality is I have to go into my sadness. My counselor said, Vince, I want you to turn on every bit of sad music you can. Think of the saddest thoughts you can and let it come. And it will go through you and you'll come out the other side in the sunrise. Is there an emotion that you don't want to feel? Is there emotion you run away from? And when someone you love expresses that emotion, you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. You go to your room and take care of that. You come out when that's gone. Think of how that collapses your window of tolerance. How quick we want to flip. Part of the spiritual work is increasing our capacity by feeling through the difficult emotions. If you're stuck, do what I did. Go see a counselor. They will help you gain the skills to be able to tolerate that emotion without flipping, so that we can love. Every time I hear that song, feel it. Feel it. I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to feel sad. Thank you very much. What emotions are you avoiding? Which ones are collapsing your window of tolerance and causing you to flip? Wow. Thanks, you guys. For tens of thousands of years, in fact, as long as we have written records, people have had religion. Some of it has been horrible, but I think religion has the ability to calm our souls in a way that certain things don't. Again, this is Choose Your Own Adventure Spirituality here at Friend Church. I'm not saying you need it, but what I'm saying is, for some, religion calms our souls. Ashley, our kids pastor, loves kids. She often will say to me, Vince, everything happens for a purpose. Sometimes her life is just in so much chaos, I can't. And she's like, Vince, it's happening for a purpose. Now, meanwhile, I want to explain to her how it's completely not happening with a purpose, and this makes no sense, and you should be freaking out, and be still and know that it's happening for a purpose. For some, this isn't going to work for you, and I'm okay with that. For some, religion is the thing that increases our window of tolerance. Jesus, in his very short way, says, love your neighbor. Can we get a little bit more there, Jesus? There's the skill of loving your neighbor. We'll talk about that for the next 4 weeks, actually. How do you do it skillfully? Spoiler alert, it's not the same for everybody. It's not the same for you as the person next to you. It's not the same for you as the person across the country, around the world. It's different. Today, we're trying to show us how do we increase our window of tolerance so we don't flip our lid, so we can actually be skillful in the ways that we know. Without that, there's a 4-year-old driving the life of our car and it's going to drive us off a cliff or run people over or whatever. It's not going to be good. And probably if we all had a moment and we were on stage here, you could all tell me stories where you flipped your lid and went, oh, that did not go well. I tried to show you different ways that increase the window of tolerance. I don't know which ways work for you. For me, breath, number one. And then the calming sounds of music. Without those, I am a mess. What's yours? As you leave here today, my encouragement is this. Think about which ones worked. If there's something I didn't talk about and it works for you, great. I notice there's a bunch of you out in the sunshine. That one you can't control a whole lot, bright blue, makes sense. As part of your spiritual practice, don't wait for yourself to flip your lid. Do it preemptively. Start your morning with breath. Listen to music on the way into whatever you're doing that calms your soul. Be proactive. If a certain emotion drives you around the bend, go and work on it. Get a counselor to help you work through it. Get through that emotion so it doesn't dysregulate you. Flip your lid. For those of you who've deconstructed your religion, this is tricky. But there's a way back where you can hold on to the things that work, just in a new way. Because they work. May we live in a way that's as loving as we can skillfully be. May we live in a way where our lid is not flipped and we are